Hi everybody. How are you guys doing today? How is my Ronette's faith community? So small, I know it is, but I know someone out here is watching these videos. I just want to introduce myself right quick. My name is Ronette and this is my faith-based channel. Whew, a little bit out of breath, I don't know why. Literally in my apartment. I just made a cup of coffee. See, I am doing rather okay. Emotionally much better. Yes, definitely emotionally much better. Mentally, that's just a day-to-day thing, you know, working on that. And physically, I'm pretty much kind of pretty much almost done physically recovering. The physical recovery part definitely takes longer. This is my experience, so if you've had a D&C procedure before, you might have recovered way sooner than me. I'm not that much of an active person, which means I don't work out or exercise on a regular basis, so that's probably why it's taking me a little longer to recover physically. So if you're someone who's really active and like super healthy with your eating choices, then you're probably going to recover much sooner than 5 days as it's taking me. So I got my procedure June 3rd on Friday around noon. So I'm going to just go like pretty much day by day what the D&C procedure looked like and what it felt like and what was going on the day of, and then the days after what my life has been looking like. So today is Wednesday. Today is day 6 after my D&C. I'm counting the D&C day as day 1. I've definitely felt more confident to make this video because I've seen D&C videos on YouTube and they're super informative. So I think the more informative videos we have out there on the D&C and on a miscarriage will definitely help a lot of women out there. So I'm gonna be one of those voices. So bear with me. And another reason why I'm doing this video, because it's also therapeutic for me to talk about it, right? To talk about what I went through, what I'm going through currently, and to look back at it and to be like, hey, like, wow, I got through that and this is what happened, but here I am still. I am woman, hear me roar. Yes. Anyway, all right, so the first day of the D&C. Now, what is a D&C? Why do you keep calling it a D&C? It's diuretic and curage. It's a D&C because the word is kind of weird to say and it's kind of hard to say. But I got the first part, diuretic. Diuretic? Sure. I'm gonna put it on the screen so you know exactly what it stands for. But the D&C is what a procedure that you get when you have a miscarriage, a miscarriage, or it's also used for abortions. In my case, it was not for an abortion, it was for a miscarriage. Yes. OBGYN gave me the 3 options. The first option was to, sorry, I'm kind of like going to a backdrop story. I'm sorry. I just want to give you the most amount of information that I can. The first option was to just let the baby pass on its own. So whenever that was going to be, basically to let nature do its thing, right? Let the body do its thing and let the baby gradually just come out of you, you know, while you're having your period, pretty much. Right? And that can be an extremely painful thing to go through. And also you don't know when it's gonna happen, so you're kind of just waiting. for this really painful experience to happen. And what was explained to me, if I were to have done that process, is that basically it's like you're going through the giving birth process. So you're having contractions and all that. So just imagine that, but you're doing it in your own home pretty much, or anywhere, right? If you were just gonna do it on your own time, I mean, then you could be at work and it could start to happen. I don't know. To me, that was just crazy to think about, and I didn't want to go through that by myself like that. So that was a no for me. Then the second option was to take a pill that is inserted vaginally. Sorry, TMI, but I mean, this is the information. So my cat is so cute right now. He's just like laying on his back looking at me. He's so weird. Anyway, so the second option was to take the pill vaginally, and that basically would make the process happen within a day. Instead of waiting for nature to take its course, the process would happen literally like within 24 hours. And then they give you medicine to help with the pain. So basically you could just do it in the comfort of your own home pretty much. Just didn't like that idea either, to just force it and to just have all that happening all at once. Just to me just seemed like horrifying to go through that. So now we're here at the D&C choice, and basically the D&C is a procedure where you're under anesthesia, and you're not aware, pretty much. You're not feeling anything during the process, and you're in a surgical room, and your OBGYN or whoever is doing the procedure is basically going into your uterus and taking out the baby, pretty much. Taking out all of the tissue, cleaning out your uterus so that none of the pregnancy pretty much is left inside of you, and your baby comes out. So I had a question on that, and I was like, okay, so am I able to see my baby after you guys take the baby out? And what was explained to me was that the baby is, since the baby hasn't fully formed, right, it's not considered like a stillborn. I was about 9 weeks, so the baby was formed, but it was still pretty much like in the yolk sac, I guess, if I'm saying that right. Basically it was gonna come out in tissue form, so there wasn't gonna be a baby for me to see or to have my last final moments with. And she explained to me that the tissue and everything that comes out gets sent to the lab, and the people at the lab makes sure that everything came out of the uterus that was supposed to come out of the uterus, which is the baby. Like, all of the baby came out. They're just making sure that that is what happened. So that is that part. So now, first day of the procedure, they told us to come 2 hours before surgery time so they can take my vitals, place me in a holding area with my husband, just get me prepped and ready for surgery. Oh, and I forgot to mention, surgery only took like about 10 to 15 minutes, if that. Like I said, I was under anesthesia, so I was out, and then I woke up in another room. Like, it's crazy to me. But anyway, so sorry, I'm kind of going all over the place. I tend to do that. Sorry. Hopefully you're with me still. So we went 2 hours before the surgery. Was at 10 a.m. Now, mind you, right, I am in the military, so I am doing this on a military base at a military hospital. So keep that in mind, okay? I know most of the people who are watching my videos are probably going to be civilians and are not in the military, so they're not going to have a similar area or location where they're going to do their D&C at. So anyway, I went on the military base where I work at the hospital. So the surgery was taking place at same-day surgery. So they have this area in the hospital where same-day surgeries are taking place. So I had to check in there, and this is where my surgery was going to be held. So they brought me inside of the same-day surgery area, and they put me in a room with my husband, and I had to change into the hospital clothing. They gave me the dress, they gave me the pants, and they gave me a robe. And they also gave me a really nice warm blanket as well, because as we know, hospitals are literally like an ice box. It's just so cold in hospitals. That's why they're not so fun to be in, because they're so dang cold. Got my clothes on, cool. The nurse took my vitals. Now let me tell you about this nurse. My emotional state that morning was not great. It wasn't great. I'm gonna be honest with you. I was cranky from the moment I woke up. I didn't get enough sleep. I couldn't really sleep for obvious reasons. And I was just not a happy camper that day. And it was on a Friday. So just thinking of doing this type of surgery on a Friday and having to go through all of this and having to bring my husband through all of this, I was just not feeling awesome. But the nurse that I had was, it was a male nurse, and he had a really like sarcastic humor to him. And I could tell that was definitely his personality, and that's what got him through his day, and that's what he feels like helps his patients feel a little better, no matter what the reason they're in the hospital for or in the same day surgery unit for. And he was silly, but he was, I think, a blessing from God. Even though like I wasn't really laughing at his jokes, or I wasn't really engaging with him as I would have if I wasn't going through what I was going through, obviously. And I can tell, and deep down I felt bad. I felt bad that I wasn't engaging with him in his humor and all that, but I was just not in the mood. I really wasn't. I was crying in and out, crying during being put on hold. I was a mess. I was definitely feeling really depressed. Just waiting there, just thinking about it makes me really sad, because it's just a sad thing. But obviously it doesn't have to be super sad, right? And I know the nurse was just doing his job, and he was a really great nurse, and he really did his best to put a smile on my face, and he did like a little bit at some points. And so I just wanted to mention that, because yeah, you take those things for granted, and those people who are really just trying to help and do their job. So after all that, the vitals and everything, then another nurse came in. Well, two nurses came in. One was the officer, female nurse. So, in the military we have officers and we have enlisted. And in this hospital we have civilian nurses and doctors, but we also have military nurses and doctors. So I was mostly taken care of by military nurses and doctors. So obviously they have rankings and all that. So I had an officer nurse along with the enlisted nurse, the male nurse that I was talking about was in there with me. And they were just there making sure my vitals were good, all that was good. And then another male nurse came in and gave me antibiotics. So before the D&C procedure, I want to make known that you're not able to eat anything or drink anything 2 hours before the surgery. So you can drink water before the 2-hour mark of your surgery, but once the 2-hour mark before your surgery hits, you're not able to drink anything, and you're not able to eat anything after midnight. Okay, so right, I'm on empty stomach. I haven't had a lot of water too, so that's probably contributing to why I'm not feeling the greatest either. Then you have to take this antibiotic before the surgery. I know it was told to me why you're taking this antibiotic, but the antibiotic is for the prevention of infections and all that, and illnesses and all that stuff, right? Antibiotics. So they give you 2 pills. I was given 2 pills of this antibiotic, and no one told me that this antibiotic, it starts with a D, diroxylin or something, I don't know, I forgot the name. 2 rather smallish antibiotic pills, and they give you like a little teacup of water to swallow it down. And no one told me that this antibiotic makes you so queasy and nauseous, like extremely, right? Until after the fact. So I took it, I felt fine, whatever. Then I had to part ways with my husband, so I was like not looking forward to that. So I had to leave the room, and my husband had to go into the waiting area, and then I followed this other male nurse into another room where I'm waiting right before I go into surgery, and I'm on a bed and all that stuff. So I am waiting there, and all of a sudden I feel extremely nauseous and like sick to my stomach. And then I'm so sorry y'all, I got cut off. The video only does 20 minutes at a time. So I left off with the antibiotic story that I was trying to tell you guys, just to make it short, so this video isn't like 40 minutes long. Oh my gosh, hopefully it's not. I was spit vomiting. I was super nauseous, and one of the other male nurses who were in there taking my vitals, putting in my IV into my hand, was like, yeah, that antibiotics is supposed to be taken with food, but obviously since you're going to surgery, you can't have any food, so a lot of people get really nauseous from this antibiotic. So I was like, oh great, thanks for letting me know now, because it was bad. Like, I just was super sick. And so the anesthesia doctor who was going to be giving me the anesthesia, he let me know the process of the anesthesia and how it works and all that. And he was really nice enough to give me some medicine in my IV to help with the nausea. And once he gave me that medicine, I kid you not, like a few seconds later, I was maybe like a minute later, I felt extremely better. I wasn't really nauseous. Okay, so now we're done with the antibiotic story. That was not fun at all. So I'm telling you this now, if you're going to go through this process, be prepared for that. Talk to your surgical doctor, see if they're able to have that medicine for you on standby to help with the nausea. You might not get nauseous at all. If that's you, I envy you, because oh my gosh, you feel sick to your stomach. It's not fun. I'm just being honest. I'm not trying to tell you that just because you're going through this surgery method of removing your baby from your body doesn't mean that it's just all gonna be smooth all the way, right? There's well, from what I know of my life, there's gonna be some obstacle to get over, and that's okay, right? You're still gonna come out of it okay and well, you know, so that's the most important part. Anyway, so I get to meet with my OBGYN that's actually doing the procedure for me. I'm gonna let you know right now, I thank God for my OBGYN who did the procedure for me, because she's just really smart and super compassionate and empathic. I think I'm saying that word right, but she was just really on top of her game, and she just knew what to say, knew what to tell me about what was going on, and she is awesome, and I thank God for her, that she was the one who was going to be doing the procedure for me. So got to see her before the surgery. So now I'm just gonna let you know, after what I explained to you, up until the surgery part, that I have no recollection of what actually happened. So this is how it went down, right? So now I'm about to go into the surgery room. The anesthesia doctor comes in, puts the anesthesia in, he puts it into my IV. Then now I'm getting wheeled into the surgery room. I'm in the surgery room. I'm just in there. I'm looking around. There are other doctors in there, or nurses in there, and that's it. And I'm awake in another room. Now, I skipped over another part that I know was from God. I was in the holding room right before the surgery. And once I got into that room, I was met with an officer nurse who was taking my vitals and asking me some questions that were basically part of the surgery procedure. And at one point she looked me dead in the eye and she said, "I'm so sorry for your loss." And that really meant a lot to me. Sorry. That really meant a lot to me because she was the first person in that whole surgery process to acknowledge what was happening. She said, "I'm sorry for your loss." And that made me feel a lot better, just that little thing made me feel so much better. So anyway, so that is a little tiny story I wanted to share with you, because I just felt that it was really important, and it helped me a lot to kind of calm me down a little more, to put my emotions more at ease, I guess you could say, because as I told you, I was a mess emotionally that day. And now fast forward to after the surgery, I'm in this other room. Now I'm super sore. My throat is super sore. Okay, that's an exaggeration. It was very itchy, and I kept on clearing my throat a lot. So one of the nurses gave me a popsicle and some water to sip on, but I had to sip the water really slowly, because if I were to have drank the water too fast, that could have made me sick, because of the anesthesia medicine still kind of wearing off. So I'll tell you exactly how I felt after the surgery was done. Right, my throat was a little bit itchy, and I was still fairly groggy and tired, and sleepy as well. So then they wheeled me off to another room where I could meet Jordan, my husband, and finally saw him. So happy to see him finally. And they gave me some ice chips for my throat. They gave me some medicine. This is the medicine that they gave me. They gave me stool softener, because constipation was going to be a thing, and it was definitely a thing for me. I'll explain that a little later. They gave me ibuprofen, they gave me Motrin, and that was just for my cramping, which was to be mild, which was fairly mild for me. And then they gave me my discharge papers and the amount of days I was going to be off from work, right? I'm in the military, so you get leave days. That's basically vacation days that military members get. And it's called, for when you're doing a medical procedure, it's called convalescent leave, and that basically just means they're not counted against you because you were at a hospital and now you need time to recover from the procedure. So you're basically not on vacation, you're recovering and you're physically healing your body from the procedure that you did. So now fast forward days after what I've been going through. So the first 2 to 3 days, my throat was extremely sore to the point where I could not even move my head. Let me check on. I couldn't move my head from side to side, like to the touch. My throat was so sore and it hurt really bad. It hurt to swallow. It was not fun again. So my husband got me some throat lozenges, some extra strength. Those really help. Some throat spray and some Theraflu. That kind of helped the process to make it a little easier and more bearable for myself. And then constipation was really uncomfortable, and I'm just now starting to have ease with my constipation. So that's why they give you the stool softeners. I'm telling you, stool softener is gonna be your best friend. So take as much as you need, girlfriend, because you will need it. Anyway, I needed it. You might not need it because you might, have a better diet than me, because I was super hungry and I was ready to just eat what I wanted to eat. And I'll put it out there that I'm not like a super unhealthy person either. I don't just eat junk food all day, but I do have my cravings sometimes and I go for my cravings. So anyway, those were the two hardest things I had to deal with, was the constipation and the really sore throat from the breathing tubes that they put down your throat. I don't think I mentioned that, but yeah, breathing tubes. They had to put down breathing tubes, and that's why my throat was so sore. So today is day 5 after the surgery. Well, day 6 if I'm counting the day of the surgery. And I'm now starting to feel physically a little better. I have a headache that started yesterday. The headache is rather mild right now, which is good. Nothing that hydration can't fix, and some extra strength Tylenol. But yeah, I'm feeling much better. I can move around more. Yesterday I cleaned a lot actually. I cleaned the bathroom, I vacuumed, I did laundry, I disinfected the kitchen counters. As you can see, I'm really proud of this because I don't like to clean. So yesterday was just a cleaning day for me, and it actually felt good to just do something in the house. And then I forced my husband to go on a walk with me last night because I needed some fresh air. I needed to move my legs a little bit, so that was also good. And I have just been in the Word, y'all. I've been reading my Bible daily, and I have been doing the soap method. I'm really excited about this. I'm gonna do another video on this for sure, because I think it needs to be known out there and people need to start doing it. Especially if you're new to the Bible, I think this method is so helpful in learning the Word and keeping the Word in your heart. And I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. It's called the SOAP method. It stands for scripture, observation, application, and prayer. That's all I'm gonna say. I will explain it in another video. I I don't want this video to time out on me and cut me off again. I don't know what else there really is to say about the D&C procedure. I'm pretty sure I probably missed a few things, but I think for the most part I covered almost everything that goes down for a D&C procedure. So thank you all so much for taking the time to watch, and if you've been praying for me, thank you so much. If you want to leave a comment down about your own experience with miscarriage, and if you've done the D&C procedure, let us know down below. This is a family, this is a community of support and kindness and love, God's love. So again, and as always, stay in the Word, stay in prayer, and God bless you guys. Thank you so much for watching.